So many of you out there tell me, I want to improve my listening skills. What should I listen to? If that's you, raise your hand. Okay, almost everyone. So I want to help you discover what you should listen to in order to help you improve your skills the most so that you can easily understand native English speakers. That's coming up. Hey everyone, my name is Wes. This is Interactive English, which is all about helping you practice and improve your English skills. And today, I want to help you improve your listening fluency. And this lesson is going to be done in 3 parts. We're going to go through variety, speed, and exposure. And by the end of this lesson, I hope that you have some new ideas that you can use to improve your listening. So let's begin with variety. And I think the beauty of learning English or any other language for that matter is that there are so many different options that are out there and available to you for you to improve your listening skills. So I want to start out with a simple question, and that is, what are you listening to? For example, a long time ago when I started learning Spanish, I decided that I wanted to practice my listening skills and I was going to listen to music. I was going to do this every day. I never really stopped to think that, well, is this really the best way to do it? I put all of my eggs in that one basket and I would listen to music every day, and it's good, but it's not always relevant when you want to be able to do things like listen to other conversations or even listen to movies or TV shows. And that's what I want to talk to you about right now. I want to go through a variety of different options that are available to you to improve your listening. Let's begin with, TV and movies. There is so much out there, and the real benefit to this is that you get to listen to natural conversation, the way that people would talk to each other out on the street or casually with friends. Something else you can do is listen to educational videos just like this one. Right now, you are learning English while listening to English. And I think this is a really great option because when you watch videos like this, I think people's speech, it's very clear and it's a little easier to follow and understand. Let's continue talking about different ways to practice your listening. And my next suggestion is, just have a conversation. Talk to your teacher, your friend, your classmate. And the benefit is that you get that face-to-face interaction, and it's also more active listening because you are required to listen to them and then respond. Now, so far, I've talked about TV, movies, educational videos, and conversations. And with each of those, you are able to see someone and you can follow visual cues, which makes it easier to understand. So my next suggestions are going to be a little more challenging because you really just have to listen. And this is great for intermediate to advanced learners. For example, you can listen to a podcast. These have become so popular nowadays, and there are podcasts on a variety of different topics as well. But this is another great way for you to listen to natural conversations and discussions. Another thing you can do is listen to an audiobook. And this is great because, books, they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it is a wonderful way to practice putting pictures in your mind and see if you can create that story and bring it to life. Another thing that you can do is listen to music. This is a great way to try and understand the rhythm and flow of speech, and it's also very relaxing. I think anytime when you can try to learn and feel relaxed, that is a huge benefit. And finally, you can listen to the radio, and I think this is a great option because, it really has everything that we just talked about. You can listen to interviews on the radio. You can listen to different sports broadcasts. And of course, you can listen to music when you're listening to the radio. And it also provides a lot of flexibility. You can just jump right in and out of it. It's not like an audiobook where you need to start at the beginning. You can just turn on the radio, start listening, and then when you have to do something else, just turn it off, and you have that flexibility. So now that I've given you a variety of different options when it comes to listening, let's talk about speed. And I have another question for you, and that is, when you are listening to something, is it too fast? If you're listening to a TV show or a song, do you feel like it's just too fast for you to understand? And the reason why I'm asking you this is because you need to consider your level as an English learner. And more specifically, I would say you need to think about your level as a listener. Because when you are talking about the different English skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, you're not always going to be at the same level. For example, listening is the most challenging language skill for me. I've always had trouble with listening, and my level is a bit lower. And you need to think about that because this is going to help you decide what you should listen to and how you should listen to it. My suggestion is that if you feel something is too fast, you need to slow it down. There's an expression in English that goes, slow and steady wins the race. And that is what I want you to think about when talking about speed. You need to find the appropriate level. You need to listen to things at your level or listen to things that are slightly above your level. I would say that if you are listening to something, you should understand at least 80% of what you hear. And nowadays, what's great is that you have that option to slow things down so that you can listen at your level. For example, some of you out there might tell me, Wes, I like your videos, but you speak so slow. Or others might say, well, you're speaking way too fast. YouTube allows you to control the speed. So if you think I'm just speaking too slowly, then you can just speed things up so that you feel like you are listening at a comfortable level. Or if you think that I'm speaking too fast, then you can slow things down. And again, you want to find a speed that you are comfortable and that you understand at least 80%. And not only with YouTube, you can do this. There are many media players out there, such as VLC, and they let you control the speed of a TV show or a movie. But you should really take control of that speed and slow things down or speed things up so that you find your level, find where you are comfortable, because that is just going to help you improve the most, especially over the long run. Slow and steady wins the race. Now let's talk about exposure. And another question that, I would ask you in general would be like, how much time do you spend listening to English? How much exposure to the language do you get? Now, I think many people out there, myself included, we like to multitask. And often people may think, I'm going to listen to English while I do something else at the same time. I'm going to listen to an audiobook while I cook dinner, or I'm going to listen to a podcast in the shower. It's always great to get exposure to the language, but I think it's so much better if you can get quality exposure and just be able to give all of your focus and concentration to whatever it is you are listening to. And that's what you should strive for. You should strive to get more quality exposure. If you are listening to a podcast, only concentrate on that podcast. If you're listening to an audiobook, only focus on that audiobook. If you are listening to a video lesson like this one, I just want you to focus on this lesson. Wait a second. Are you doing other things right now? I hope not. I want you to stop. Stop whatever it is you're doing, and I want you to focus on what I'm about to say. You need to get more quality exposure. And the more quality time that you can make for it, the faster you're going to improve. So now that we've talked about the variety of options that you have when it comes to practicing your listening skills, we talked about speed and the need to consider your level as a learner. And we've also discussed the exposure, that quality exposure that you need to get. I want to offer some suggestions for all different types of learners out there. For example, if you are a beginner learner with either very little time or you have a lot of time, the most important thing that you need to focus on would be the speed. Whether you are listening to an audiobook or a podcast or a video lesson, really think about controlling that speed, and you need to slow things down because slow and steady wins the race. If you are an intermediate learner and you don't have that much time throughout the day, then I think the best thing that you could do would be to listen to these video lessons because they're very short. It doesn't take as much time, but you also get to control that speed and really put it where you think it needs to be. And if you want to really challenge yourself, then turn on the radio. Jump into some radio broadcasts. Try to challenge yourself. You're not going to be able to control the speed, but radio, it's a great option for somebody who may not be able to listen for a long time if you just have these short periods throughout the day. If you are an intermediate learner and you have a lot of time throughout the day, a longer time period where you can sit down and really get some quality exposure, then I would suggest an audiobook because it's a story that you get to follow and you can try to listen to it and put those pictures up there in your mind. Because again, you get to control the speed and you get to find that speed that is best for your level as a listener. I think movies and TV shows are also good for intermediate learners with more time because you get to listen to that natural conversation, which is always beneficial. If you are an advanced learner who doesn't have a lot of time throughout the day, just a few moments here and there, then I think educational videos, that's a great option. You can try to make the speed a little faster and challenge yourself. I would also suggest that you try to engage more in conversations and try to get that face-to-face interaction, that active listening practice, and respond to what other people are saying. You could also listen to music. That's a great option, but because you are an advanced learner, I would still say that you really need to focus on the music. Don't listen to music while you're doing other things. Try to get that quality exposure. Listen to the song and see if you understand, well, what is it that the person is singing about? See if you understand the song completely. And then if you are an advanced learner who has more time throughout the day, then I think you should do all of them. The more, the better. But the one suggestion that I would make is try listening to a podcast. Think about what you're interested in and find a podcast about that topic and listen to it and try to follow along. If you want to increase the speed and challenge yourself, that's great, as long as you understand at least 80%. So I hope that you now have a better idea of what you can listen to and how you can listen to it in order to improve your listening skills. If you enjoyed this lesson, please hit that like button. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.